Hey guys, it's Bharth Gunny with Urban Asian, and today I'm joined by the one and only Lilly Singh and Trevor Salter from the movie Doing It. How are you guys today?
Fantastic. Thrilled to be talking to you, buddy. Thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your time. So, Doing It, the movie, I mean, and I've been waiting for a movie like for a long time. It's American Pie meets School of Rock meets Harold and Kumar. Jess and Maya's characters remind me of Trevor's character and Jess from American Pie. So, it's amazing.
What
So
a
starting off,
compliment. Thank you.
absolutely, and it is a compliment, a huge compliment. I grew up watching those movies. Starting off, what's the craziest story that each of you have from high school?
Oof. From high school. You know what? My craziness is crazy, not in the way you think it's crazy, in the amount of I was so uneducated on this topic. I was definitely that kid that was like, my mom drilled it into my head. If I ever see you sitting on a boy's lap, you're gonna be in trouble. So most of my high school life was me believing you could get pregnant by sitting on a boy's lap. I didn't really completely understand how sex worked. I know kids these days in high school, they're like having sex all over the place, but that was not my experience
Oh,
at all. I was barely had sex ed in school. So the craziest thing that happened to me in high school was uneducation. It was me Googling left, right, and center, what is sex? How do you have sex? I thought for years, I thought boys could take off their penises. This is a real story. So I was
Right.
just uneducated in high school. That's my experience.
I mean, same, honestly. Like the craziest thing about high school was that I didn't have anything crazy happen to me. I grew up Filipino. I went to an all boys Catholic school.
Did you really?
I did. Honestly, I got into acting because I did theater at school because we had a sister school, and we did our plays together. So I just wanted to meet girls. And like the craziest thing was that my first kiss was at a Starbucks when I was 16. There you go.
Nice work. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that. That is so good. Even the chemistry between your character, Lily, and Trevor's character
Yeah.
was amazing. I too went to an all boys Catholic school for high school, and my best friend was Filipino.
Hey,
So,
let's
like,
go.
seeing that chemistry was amazing. How did you guys prepare for your roles?
Yeah, well, Maya and Alex, I feel like from the audition, like me and Trevor were fortunate enough to do a chemistry read, and we auditioned a bunch of people for Alex's character. And when I met Trevor, I was like, this guy is so charming, and he made me blush. And as a brown person, I don't blush often, and so he made me blush, and I was like, let's go, Trevor. And I feel like we had a natural chemistry that was very
Yeah.
just immediate and authentic. But I personally, and Trevor, you can correct me, I just was really big on Maya's love interest because we've just seen it so many times before. Not that anything's wrong with it. I just wanted it to be another person of color. I think we often see these types of stories where we're like, okay, we can have a person of color, but we need to now make this palatable by making them fall in love with a white person. And I was very adamant that I wanted like another Asian person to be Maya's love interest. And so I feel like we just have this natural connection. You know, we're not from the same culture, but we're from similar
Correct.
Mhm.
ideologies. And I think that really, really helped personally for me. And he's also hot as hell, so it's easy.
Easy.
Thank you. I fully agree. I mean, this is the only time in my professional career where I played love interest to many different people. I've never played a love interest to someone of color. That's crazy to say.
That is crazy.
That's crazy to
Yeah.
say. So, I just feel grateful that Lily made sure that this her love interest was a person of color and an Asian person. How rare that you see people of two different Asian cultures
Right.
love interests. So I'm very grateful for that.
100%. And there's so much representation in there. There South Asian representation, Southeast Asian representation as well. So that's really powerful. And we really need a sex ed revolution, right? What's the craziest story? I know we touched on this a little bit, but what's the craziest story that your parents told you about sex to prevent you from having sex?
So my mom really did, for some reason, and I want you to know she's outside this room door right now, but that's okay. Um, she really did, for some reason, drill in this idea of sitting on a boy's lap. I don't know why, but that was the thing where she was like, absolutely do not do that. And I was like, is that how you get an STD? Like, why is she so she's like, if I go to the mall and I ever see you on a boy's lap. It was very about the mall and a boy's lap. And now I'm just understanding she didn't want me to publicly ever be with a boy in public settings. Now I'm understanding that. But there was that. But I will say, in terms of a crazy story from my mom, I'll give you a true one that's in the movie. In the beginning of the movie, there's a punishment that happens, like from a teacher to a kid, where she has to stand in this circle in the sun. That is from my mom's real life, actually. When I was writing the movie, I called my mom to be like, if you got in trouble in school because you got caught talking to a boy or like something like that, what would your punishment be? Like, they'd made me stand out in the sun in a circle. And so that is, I mean, for better or worse, a true story. It's kind of messed up, but I mean, I don't know. My mom's pretty smart, so maybe it worked. I don't know.
Maybe it worked. Nice. How about you, Trevor?
Again, not a crazy story for my parents. They just kind of let my Catholic upbringing
Okay.
instill fear of God in me.
They let God do it.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
they really let God do it. You know, it's like if you touch anywhere in these regions, you're gonna have your hand burned off.
That's wild. Your hand burned off.
So you just
That's
got your
good.
wife pregnant with your hands behind your
With
back.
your hands.
I got
Hey,
you
It,
with my
it
hands.
was immaculate conception, actually. So
Yeah.
you wish it was that easy, right?
this is the second Jesus now.
Oh, I love that. And how much of your characters, individually are a reflection of your real selves in real life?
Trevor, go for it.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think it's a coincidence like that I got cast in this role. You know, like I cook a lot. Lily's talked about how this love interest is really, in service of her, and I tend to be that for my wife, but both ways. My wife, we have a very great equal relationship,
Mm.
um, but it's very close to me, and I think I didn't have a hard time tapping into anything because I brought
He's just
myself to it.
naturally charming. He's just that
Not,
charming.
I didn't want to be the one to say it. I
Yeah, he's
was
like,
being
I'm not
so
even
nice.
acting. I'm just actually this nice and
Yeah,
I'm this charming. And,
it's just easy.
yeah, it's just easy, not even acting. Um, for me, there is a lot of me that is in Maya. I will say that I have felt awkward about sex for most of my life. And so a lot of the things she says and a lot of the way she's reacting to certain situations is probably how I've reacted. So I was really able to channel parts of myself. And I will say, she has this big monologue at the end. And there's a lot of things she says in that monologue are things I have verbatim journaled about or said to my therapist or like talked about in my real life. And so really it was just me copying and pasting from my journal and therapy transcripts into this into this movie script, honestly. But I would say there's a lot of me in mine. Not 100%, but I would say there's a good bit.
love that. Love that. And for each of you, what is your favorite Asian dish? We
Asian. Okay.
saw a lot of cooking in there. We saw some Thai food.
And we
It
were
was really
very
good.
specific about that. I wanted to make sure that we saw some good Asian food.
Asian
Yes.
food.
Yes. My favorite, I'll give you a Indian dish. It is hands down, specifically my mom's chicken curry and rice. If I had a last meal on the planet, it would be that. Just a simple chicken curry and rice is like my vibe.
Mm.
Homemade, you can't go wrong. Yeah.
I'm gonna follow Lily's lead, but so my grandmother passed away a couple years ago, and before she died, I really wanted to make sure that I got her lumpia recipe.
Wow.
And it's very, you got to everything's got to be so thinly diced, and I'm not very good with my fine motor skills, so my rolling is it takes practice, but I can do it justice. But my grandma's lumpia is, I wish I could have it again.
No.
Man, you can't go wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
This food. Love hearing that. What are you hoping audiences take away from the film?
Oof. I'm excited and terrified for people to watch this movie, honestly. I think some people will really resonate with it, and I think some people will be like, I need to go to the temple immediately.
I need to wash my eyes.
Literally, the very baseline thing I want is I just want this to hopefully normalize the conversation around sex. I think it's really important for all people, but especially girls and women, to feel empowered to have this conversation around sex, their bodies, consent, and to encourage them to actually enjoy this part of their life. So I just wanted to prompt the conversation where I hope people watch the movie and they talk about it with their friends and their parents and their siblings or whatnot.
Love that.
It's like a Lily, and to build on that, like having discussions in between generations, and Lily said something earlier about learning from younger people, and I do think that Gen Z thinks about sex in a way that is a little bit more fluid, a little bit more open, and I think that's really valuable to the generations like me and above us.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. Those are perfect answers. Thank you so much again for your time and congratulations on the movie. We can't wait for it to hit theaters and for everyone to just be shocked and awed by this movie.
Thanks, Barth. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you guys. You too. Take care.